Welcome back to this already the final segment of today's Price of Business, and I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got Chris Kidd in the house. He does a regular feature here on the Price of Business. He's a contributor on the show and also contributes articles at the national news website, usdatareview.com, and we're always delighted to have him in our studios, and always love the guests you bring on. How are you, Chris Kidd?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, and we're both excited about the interview today. By the way, in addition to learning more about Chris at priceofbusiness.com, you can also go to Chris Kidd, and that's KIDD.com to get more information. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and then introduce us to your guest today.
Well, I'm a financial coach and basically help people with financial issues, whether that means getting out of debt, learning to handle personal finances, or learn to develop wealth by handling their personal finances better and learning about investing and entrepreneurship. So kind of a gambit of the three. But I've got a pretty cool guest on today. I feel like we kind of relate quite a bit, being in coming from two worlds that seem opposite. But my guest today is Coach Joe Moglia. He's the head football coach at Coastal Carolina University, and I'm going to let him tell his story.
Should I just begin?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I was born and raised in the Dyckman Street section of New York City, which is the inner city, and my dad was born in Italy, never finished 8th grade. Mom, born in Ireland, never finished high school, came to this country to marry my dad. I'm the oldest of 5. 7 of us lived in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. 2 of my best friends got killed in high school. One died of a drug overdose. The other was killed by the police robbing a liquor store. I was with those guys every day in my neighborhood. We didn't go to the same high school. I would not have been with the guy doing drugs, but I would have been with the guy robbing the liquor store had I not been playing high school football. And my goal was to play football and baseball in college. But instead, my girlfriend got pregnant. I became a father. My father's advice to me was not go to college. I felt I had to. I wound up going to Fordham. And my freshman year, I am driving a New York City taxi cab, a truck for the post office, and working at my father's fruit store. First year of my life, I didn't have sports. So I had gone to Fordham Prep, and they had given me a job. So as a football coach while I was in college. So my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I majored in economics, thought I wanted to go to Wall Street, coached high school football during the season and worked at my father's fruit store in the off season. But I really, really loved the coaching and decided that if I could get my own head high school program, I'd pursue a career in coaching. If not, I'd go to Wall Street. So at 22, I became the youngest football coach in history of the state of Delaware. I coached for 16 years. Now, let's fast forward. I'm earning my living coaching. Now, it's 1981. I am the defensive coordinator at Dartmouth, that same girl that I married 13 years prior. We now have 4 children. She filed for a divorce. So I couldn't afford to support 4 children and a wife on the salary I was making and live independently, so I got permission to move into the storage room above the football office at Dartmouth. For those of you that don't know, Dartmouth's in New Hampshire, so it gets pretty cold there. Yeah. We had no heat. I had no heat, so I could see my breath in the wintertime. So January 84 is when Nebraska's playing Miami for the national championship. Miami upsets Nebraska. A few months later, Miami offers me a job. Now, I can go from the defensive coordinator at Dartmouth to an assistant on the defensive staff for the national championship team. That's a great step forward in my career, but I'm going to live in Coral Gables. My kids are going to live in New Hampshire. And toughest career decision I've ever made was turning down that job because it said I had to get out of coaching, but I didn't think I could do my job as a coach if I couldn't live up to my responsibilities as a parent. So I got out of coaching. A few months later, I was in the MBA training program at Merrill Lynch. There were 26 of us. There were 25 MBAs and 1 football coach. Almost everybody thought that I wouldn't make it. A few years later, those MBAs are working for me. I couldn't be prouder of the 17 years I spent at Merrill Lynch. In 2001, we had the impact of the dot-com boom explosion, and Ameritrade, which is headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, is struggling. And bottom line is they offered me the CEO job. So I moved from New York City to Omaha, Nebraska. So by the time we got to 2008, our market cap had been $700 million, and again, we were going out of business. By 2008, our market cap was $10 billion. Our shareholders had a 500% return. We outperformed every financial firm in the world over that time period. By bottom line, it was kind of like if we had been a football team, it would have been like Coastal Carolina beating Alabama for the national championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I decided that it's time to pull the trigger on my own succession. I stepped down, and the board asked me if I'd stay on as chairman. I am still chairman of the board of TD Ameritrade, and I'd gotten some incredible offers. Remember, this is the Armageddon in the financial world in 2008, and we had gotten it right. And so I had some incredible offers in the financial world, a possibility of my own TV show. Then I got a call from a group of alumni at Yale telling me at the end of the 2008 season there was a chance that the football job would be open. Would I be interested? And I remember looking at the phone and saying, guys, you know I haven't coached for 20 years. And they said, we spent a lot of time looking at the skill sets the head coach has. You really have those. In fact, you probably have competitive advantage. There's only one issue. What's that? This has never, ever, ever been done before in the over 100 years history of college football. So a few months later, I found I didn't lose a minute of sleep in any of the other opportunities, but I couldn't get the football thing out of my head. I decided to go back. I spent 2009, 2010 in Nebraska, 2011 in the United Football League, and I've been in Coastal Carolina the last 3 years. So I know I was talking pretty fast, but that's kind of my entire career in 5 minutes.
Yeah, very good, very good. Go ahead with your question, Chris.
Well, Coach, I wanted to ask you, where's that passion come from? And it's obviously a passion, because if you're walking away from a multi-million-dollar company to go, you still manage in some aspect, but to walk away from that, that's quite a pay cut. But you're obviously passionate about it. Where's that come from?
I think the reality, Chris, is I've always thought about kind of to do something, to be good. At the end of the day, I've got 6 kids. I've got 118 players. I have kind of the same objective for each of them. I want them to be happy. I don't think you can be happy if you're not doing something for a living where you have to devote so much time and energy that you're not, one, cut out for, and 2, love doing. So I've had an opportunity to do 2 things with my life, both of which I'm pretty good at and both of which I'm pretty passionate about. So I think one of the strengths that I have is that I've not made a decision to go into a field that I didn't love. I mean, I've always loved the business world. I have always loved coaching. I'm not a football crazy fan, but I understand the game of football, and I love the game and the impact you can have on others. That's pretty much the same approach that I took to the business world. So I'm fortunate because I wouldn't allow myself to go into a field that I really didn't love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously, and it's a fascinating story. And, I've always said that business and sports translate well. You're living proof of that.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's about the decisions you make on people and how you handle yourself under stress. So what's different between the business world, the leadership principles in the business world and the world of football are identical. They're the same. How I manage, how I lead in the football world or the world of the business world are the same. The difference is the product. The product there. Certainly football itself is different than financial services. But having said that, the skill sets, I often said in the beginning of my career at Merrill Lynch that I was a much better business guy because of my experience as a football coach. And today I am, frankly, a much better head college football coach because of my experience as a business guy.
I want the listener to look up his name, Joe Moglia. That's Moglia. And look him up at Amazon. You have a couple of books there that I think would be phenomenal to look at. Chris, with about 30 seconds left, your thoughts?
It's a fantastic interview, and I definitely, since we're out of time, I'd like to follow up and get some more information. Maybe we can write an article on this or something and get some more stuff out that we didn't get a chance to cover.
Well, I think what we need to do is get him back on if the coach's game.
Yeah, that's just fine on my end, guys. We'll be glad to figure it out.
Awesome. Look forward to that. All right. Thanks, gentlemen. That'll be awesome. All right. When we come back next time, we'll have much more for you, as always. Show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. And you've been listening to The Price of Business.